Greetings, Tarnished, and welcome to another episode of Elden Dogs, your favorite podcast about Shadow of the Erd Tree, thinking about Night Rain, and talking about the same video game for over 75 hours. I am Sir Ansbach, and I love this game.
I am Lady Freja, and I too love this game.
I haven't talked about any single topic more than Elden Ring, probably.
Well, when we kind of came up with the idea to do this, I did not expect it to last this long.
No. You go back to the early days, and I'm like, maybe a 20-episode series. The problem is, it became very fun, and we started getting a lot more listeners, too. And then I can't stop eating. I eat because I'm unhappy, and I'm unhappy because I eat. It just keeps going, except we're happy and we're eating. So,
yeah, 57 episodes later.
Yeah, this is 57 if you're on our Patreon, which if you are, that means you're cool. If you're not, this episode was released to our Patreon supporters maybe 7 months ago, and we highly recommend you go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/HairTheDogcast to get access to the other episodes. Free trial. It's totally worth it, and check out the other shows on the Dogcast Network, Rauh Dogs, Popcorn Dogs, our movie podcast, and the Dogcast for all of your video game news. But today we're talking about the Rauh Ruins, and the Rauh Ruins. Man, I was not looking forward to this episode for a long time. Even when I got here, this area was, I found mostly annoying.
So this is your Abyssal Woods?
Because in the parlance of Tyler's times.
I hate the Abyssal Woods.
See, that's one of my favorite spots.
The ending of it is cool, but I just didn't like it.
The Rauh Ruins, just the design of this whole, they even consider it like a dungeon in the strategy guide.
Really?
It's a big area, but it's all just like kind of one big horse. It's like kind of a horse dungeon. You're meant to get through it faster, and it's a little wider. The whole thing rubs me wrong. Before we get to the ruins, though, we're back in the storehouse, and we got to go down the elevator to go to the Jar Hospital. This is where Messmer's army was tending to the jars. His mother's people that were forced into these jars. They were brought here and put into beds to try and ease their passing. Just kill them. Just kill them.
Let them go.
Just let it go. I believe that they have a right to die. And at this point, if I was 20 different people in a jar, I probably want to go. In this hospital, you can find the Wall of Sparks, Ash of War. Scatter perfumed powder in vicinity, producing intense sparks after a brief delay. If that's your thing. Properties of those sparks are determined by the perfume bottle you use. There is an illusory wall in the hospital with the Battlefield Priest cookbook, and it's to the left of the stairwell. This allows you to craft sun warmth stones to use FP to generate sun warmth, continuously restoring the HP of those nearby for 30 seconds. And yeah, but this is the hospital used to treat the living jars, and I'm one of the reasons I still think that Messmer was a monster, but Messmer did some good things as well. And you get through the hospital, though, and you find yourself at a giant bridge.
Yep. So you're going to cross the bridge where Fire Knight Salza is waiting for you.
Makes me want some tortilla chips.
Yeah.
Is that salsa you got?
This guy, Salza, it fucking whooped my ass for some reason.
Oh, he knows how to keep you at a distance. It's a little bit like red light, green light with the bridges overhead.
Yeah. But when you beat Salza, you're going to get Salza's hood. A prodigious amount of cloth.
That's a lot of cloth on your head.
Wound around it, giving the impression of a greatly swollen head. And wearing it increases your intelligence by 2 because you got a big brain.
Why does he need to pretend to have a bigger brain? We took it off. He's a regular dude.
It looks like an elongated skull. Disciple of the Elder Owego, he refused to burn down an old ruin at the risk of his own life. Noble.
You know when your homies sit you down and say, what is it when you sit down and they all like confront you?
An intervention.
When all of your homies are like, we're not getting rid of these ruins. Intervention. And Mesmer's like, fine, okay.
Yeah.
Jeez, we won't burn it down. Yeah.
You can get the incantation Rain of Fire.
Underrated film?
Oh, the Dragon movie?
It's a dragon movie?
Yeah. Doesn't it have like Christian Bale in it or something?
And McConaughey?
Yeah, something like that. That is...
I have to watch it again.
I haven't thought of that movie in like 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rain of Fire is going to summon a cloud of flame overhead that pelts foes with rain of fire from above. Charging increases its potency. Salza's disdain for barbarism never waned, even as he burned more villages and scorched more land than any other. Summons a cloud of flame that rains fire projectiles upon enemies for about 4 seconds, hits enemies at around 10 to 20 times, can be cast at a medium to long range. If used without locking on, the cloud will appear right above the caster.
Yeah, so it's a good thing to lock onto someone and take a giant fiery shit on them from above. There is an elevator right when you come out, Ancient Ruins of Rauh. Elevator off to your left. Down there you'll find a hippopotamus boss.
A hippop?
A hippop. You give him the easy ones.
You can summon in the delivery boy Rob Schneider with a summon right here.
He uses his skills, Ash of War, lamb, and tuna fish.
Yeah, he rides around on a bike with a basket on the front, just pelting it with sandwiches.
That was Rob Schneider's peaking. He's gone way downhill since then.
Yeah. Hippopotamus?
Before this land was enshrouded in shadow, the vitality of the Crucible flourished, and that's why you get a giant hippopotamus. This overlooks the area we could transport to earlier from the Shadow Altus. Now, the Ancient Ruins of Rauh, these are the remains of a civilization that practiced the art of sprite magic prior to the Horn Scent and prior to Marika's Erd Tree. These ruins were preserved from the Crusade because Fire Knight Salsa refused to burn these down. He put his foot down. And this area does seem to predate the Erd Tree and Marika. There's a secret north entrance around the northern side here where you find a statue. And this statue is what allows Vati Vidya to make an hour-long video.
God bless you.
Fucking love you, Vati. And I will be using in this episode a good amount of that video. Still our own opinions, but I do adhere to most of what they say. This area is the least defined and least concrete. It's the most speculative, and it's the most if this, then that, could be this, maybe that, type of Elden Ring lore, which my patience is on the smaller side for this stuff. But this statue, it's of a woman lacking horns, so unlikely horn scent, at least before they started worshiping horns, braided hair, and an 8-sided headpiece. The architecture here resonates with many other ruined structures in the lands between and the Land of Shadow. And there's a lot of 8-sided pillars scattered around mountaintops of the giants, around Caelid, around all of the giant towers in the lands between. Now, the tool here you find is the Bondstone. These are sprite stones that are raw burrows inhabited by a sprite. According to the records left by Hornsent scholars, there were also contrivances known as Bondstones that could manipulate the moment that the sprite vanishes. Sprites can mean fairies or faint flashes caused by the collision of high-energy electrons. That's that faith plus intelligence shit that I'm about. Little flashes, oh, must be a fairy.
Or it's science.
Or it's electrons. Or it's both. But if you get the Antiquity Scholars Cookbook, refers to Hornsent academics who study the ancient ruins of Rauh. So yes, this is a time of antiquity before the Hornsent. The Hornsent revered them. Salza reveres them. Everyone agrees. Don't fuck with the Library of Alexandria. This is good shit.
Yeah.
Yes. And
good on Salza.
One good thing you did, Salza, you did burn down many innocent villages.
I look past it. I can separate the art from the artist.
But I pound my chest to him on that one. The Blackstone Civilization, this is what a lot of Redditors call the earliest civilization we know about in the lands between. And that's, Vati uses this term as well. The Blackstone Civilization, to me, is something that is also referenced by George R.R. Martin in certain spots of the A Song of Ice and Fire books. A lot of civilizations in that universe has a slimy, wet blackstone, which essentially just means some old god Lovecraft shit that we don't understand, and that's kind of just a placeholder for the oldest, most mysterious thing, the Blackstone civilization. The giant walking golems seem to be related to the golem smiths. So those big stone motherfuckers, that the big bow and arrows, possibly being controlled by sprite magic. The stone, the golem smiths, they also have like, if you look at the back, they have like glintstone embedded in the back that could be powering them with the sprite magic. And we also find the arrowhead sword. This is from one of the smithing dungeons. It's the ancient meteoric ore greatsword, fashioned from an excavated shard of an arrowhead that once was part of the old god's arsenal. I like to think this is from that civilization, and for that arrowhead to be that size, extrapolate the size of the arrow off of that up to the golems. This seems larger than even the fire giants and the mountaintops. Some people would like to imagine those other giant fucking skeletons in Caelid, the super big heads. They like to attribute that to titans. They call them titans. I think that's never used in game, but super giant, colossal, bigger than the giants civilization. They could have used that arrow. The fire giant forge is propped up by black pillars reminiscent of Ra as well, the divine towers. All of this imagery just kind of points toward an older civilization that had powers we still don't comprehend, and they're probably responsible for a lot of the ancient ruins we see. I do have issues with anyone trying to talk about titans or even the fire giant civilizations because we find no chairs. There's no giant. We do find 2 big chairs in Noxtella, but like remnants of their civilization other than giant people, you can't have more than 2 guys live on that mountaintop if that size.
Yeah.
Where are you going to run around? Where are you going to play? I don't know. It's just remnants of like such a giant civilization on our little area. Hard to wrap my brain around.
Yeah. I like the idea of having something so old that you're never really going to truly know what it was there for, how it existed.
Love it.
In our world, in our society, I often think about the pyramids of Giza.
Yeah.
This way, that how the fuck did they build those? And
turns out it was slavery and beer.
Yeah, but people don't realize how old those are. Like Cleopatra living closer to the invention of the iPhone than the construction of the pillars is insane to me.
Yeah.
It's just something so old that you're never going to fully understand it. So when I can put it in a reality that I understand, it makes this even crazier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to head to the north end of the ruins. You got some enemies up here.
Fucking hate these ruins.
Shadow pots and shadow undead. Spider scorpions, which don't really give me a hard time, but they look terrifying.
This place is lousy with them. They have some of the big scorpions, which I like them less, but
yeah. Curse blades and kindred of rot. There's some spirit springs up here.
Lots of spirit springs.
Yeah.
So this is a big fucking maze, and I will ride around this, even knowing where I'm going, for 15 minutes and get lost.
Yeah.
I hate it. And it's happened more than it should.
Yeah.
I've talked about this game for 75 hours. I don't know how to get around this thing. Maybe I'm not the issue.
You can find Ashes of War, the spider scorpion ashes, in the area where the spider scorpion hangs from the ceiling, and there's a bunch of items on the ground.
Definitely not a trap.
Oh, 100% not.
Definitely not. Go grab them.
This scorpion is larger than a human and attacks with pinchers and a poisonous tail, much like a normal scorpion would. Appears some distance from the summoner.
One of those weird spirit ashes that don't spawn next to you.
This breed of scorpion was native to the realm of Shadow, but was far smaller in size. Recent giant scorpions are said to trace back to the Church of the Bud, or the old dry leaf.
I used to go to that church too back in the day, brother.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. Jamaican Limeswell.
You can find a talisman, the Fine Crucible Feather Talisman, a talisman fashioned from thin feathers that embodied the aspects of various creatures said to have grown on the human body long ago. Again, gross.
Gross.
Not good. Improves backstep, but increases damage taken at all times, which I think if you master backstep,
It's worth it.
it's a good trade-off.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get hit.
Right.
It is a really cool thing to, I mean, especially if you're dual wielded.
Yeah. Watching hitless runs blows my mind.
Yeah. Hornsent view the Crucible as sacred for the refinement wrought through its evolutionary gifts.
These horns are a gift.
Yeah.
Billy had 7 of them. He's now God. We love him.
Most prominently, their tangled horns provides iframes to backsteps, but reduces player damage negation by 15%.
So after you run around this maze for 35 minutes and you find that there was just this door in front of you this whole time, but nothing was telegraphed properly and you're mad and you don't like this area, you do get to the end of these ruins. There's another ruins across the bridge, but first you come to the bridge to get across. You can find the Ash of War, Dryleaf Wind. This skill represents the pinnacle of Dane's footwork-based martial artistry. Rise into the air with a series of spinning kicks before crashing down with one final strike. Imbues kicking attacks with energy, increasing their range. It's a very cool-looking attack. There will be Miquella's Cross. I abandon here the last of the flesh of my body. Keep cutting it off there, bud.
Yeah, and it's like every time we find one of these crosses, he's shedding more and more and more. And for the cross to say that here I abandoned the last of the flesh of my body, you're like, at this point, you're like, I'm starting to get pretty. What do you got left, man?
What does he have left? He's completely freeing himself. I mean, this is a similar instance to I think what Ronnie was up to, where she actually had to sacrifice her own body. We find it crumbled up there, a little redhead, but that's because she wanted to be a 4-armed blue doll,
As we all do.
and I'm glad she did.
Yeah.
Either way, though. What's up?
Why won't you text me back?
I hit you up. You just didn't say anything. You sent me your dog to come hang out with me, and he's being really weird. Love you, Blythe. Now, there's the Ancient Ruins cross message. We found the sealing tree just ahead, but if we were to burn it, we need the proper kindling, that of Sir Mesmer. And there's a message from Letta, addressed to kindred spirits who also pursue Miquella's trail. Dane passed on a message. How? Did he write it down for you? The sealing tree is in the ancient ruins of Rauh. It lies beyond the high bridge leading from the first floor of the storehouse. I will join you there once I have finished the task at hand. Yep. This is a message where Letta was before. But the reason we went over there to this site of grace first is because there's a Crucible Knight you'll run into before, but just sneak around the back and go to the site of grace because you'll find Crucible Knight Devonia. I put down boss. I don't think she's technically a boss, but she is a boss.
She is, how do you say this? A pain in the ass.
She is a pain in the centaur kicking ass. She is a commanding foe. Devonia is the longest serving of the Crucible Knights and is known for embarking on a solitary quest to uncover the origin of the Crucible and left the lands of the Erd Tree alone. Her quest for the origin brought her here. She's gotten this far, and she's looking up at Anir Lim. She should just go and fight Mesmer and cross the bridge, but for some reason she just stopped here and is just having to think about it.
Having to think about
She's
it.
having to think about it. It's like, well, why don't you go up there? But she won't.
She knows what's coming.
She's having to think. So you sneak up behind her and just stab her in the horse booty, and then she fights you. She calls upon an aspect of the Crucible that transforms her lower body into a pachyderm centaur with 6 limbs. Its 4 back legs resemble those of even-toed ungulates, while the front legs terminate in large hands with opposable thumbs. All very weird and creepy. If you somehow defeat her, you will get the Crucible Hammer Helm, which strengthens aspects of the Crucible incantations, as well as the weapon Devonia's Hammer, a great hammer, a weapon forged of primordial gold, marked by its reddish hue and inhabited by an ancient holiness. A torrent of life is engraved upon the striking face. This giant fucking hammer has the skill, Devonia's Vortex, violently spins the hammer around like without your hand, just goes like Thor a little bit, and then slam the ground, causing a shock wave. This skill can be charged to increase its power. It's Devonia kicked my ass more than a couple times. And the first time, before I got the Sight of Grace, which meant I got to go through the ruins again.
Fun.
So don't do that.
Save yourself some time.
Save yourself a little bit of time.
So now that you get to the south part of the ruins,
fucking damn it. I hate this area.
The Bridge of Furnace Doom, which is just like probably a metal album out there somewhere.
Well, first,
you got a furnace golem.
And it's attacking across the bridge.
That's mean.
I can't even get across the bridge. I'm trying to come in.
Beating him, you get a Crimson Sapping Cracked Tear. Restores 0.75% of the maximum HP upon each hit for 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Not a bunch.
I don't fuck with these tiers.
Nah.
I got the ones I like, whatever.
Yeah, I mixed my physics and I'm good with it.
This Furnace Golem did fuck me up more than most of them, though. I think you can go up and throw stuff in there, but this is one that I often do with the ankles. And good lord, it takes too many hits.
Spiral Incantation Divine Bird Feathers by the gazebo with the Bird Warriors.
Which we get to play as in Night Rain. We'll be a Bird Warrior.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
That'll be cool. And this is actually an incantation. I believe this is the incantation that you see performed in the game.
Oh, yeah.
In Night Rain, yeah.
A technique of the Divine Bird Warriors, the very first of all horned warriors, wielded as an incantation. Spread the arms wide like wings to release a fury of feathers. This incantation can be cast while in motion. Hold to continue releasing feathers. The Divine Bird Warriors, and indeed this technique, are said to bear resemblance to the Golden Crucible. You hit a Spirit Spring, and you can find a talisman, the Modded Necklace +2, a vividly colored ceremonial accoutrement worn by the Horn Scent. Vastly raises immunity, robustness, and focus. Horns are sublime artifacts to the Horn Scent, and their presence confirms the belief that they are the chosen people.
Well, confirmation bias. Anything that proves I'm right,
I'm going to take it.
I'll keep it. Get rid of that video of me standing on the table. No one wants to see it.
Don't want to see it.
No one wants to see it.
Only the repeated sprouting of flesh horns can create a tangle horn, which is viewed as irrefutable symbol of primacy, which is pretty dope.
That's my beard.
Yeah, just tangled hair.
Ain't no argument. That's primacy.
Yeah, you got a big-ass beard and you're God.
People see me walk in the brewery, they're like, he knows about IPAs for sure. Get that man a hazy. And I'm like, just give me a fucking look.
Just please, a Pilsner would be okay.
Just want a Pilsner.
Erdtree Incantation Aspect of the Crucible Bloom.
Yes.
Aspect of the Crucible discovered in the ancient ruins creates a Miranda flower on one's chest before calling down a rain of light.
That's pretty cool.
I like that.
Yeah. That's some like a Tree of Life shit from Darren Aronofsky.
Something that I could possibly use because it deals holy damage and 2 stance damage per projectile. It takes roughly 2.2 seconds for the projectiles to appear, after which you can get staggered out and the pillars will still occur, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can also find the weapon, the Stone Sheathed Sword.
You know the Stone Sheathed Sword. This is the sword that 3 altars are in the Land of Shadow. First one turns into a Sword of Light. Well, first you find the sword, then you get the Sword of Darkness and the Sword of Light, and you can switch them back and forth, depending on what you prefer.
But yeah, this is the final location.
This is the last altar. Yep.
And then the Rot Incantation Pest Thread Spears. Skill of the pests, known as the Kindred of Rot, now wielded as an incantation. Secrete numerous stickly threads, then twist them into 2 spears launched frontwards, charged to enhance the potency here.
These spears have been fucking us up since Kaled.
And now you got the power.
I've got the power.
The pests are abandoned servants, and it is for this reason that they found a mother in the Saint of the Bud. The incantation can do extremely high damage to large enemies, even without a significant amount of optimization. This is because the projectiles do damage to every piece of geometry they pass through, and the wings, arms, legs of larger bosses are counted separately, so you're hitting multiple hitboxes with these bad boys, which is pretty cool. Yeah,
so the Southern Ruins here, it's got the Furnace Golem up front. Otherwise, you're going to go through the same thing. A bunch of tunnels. A maze of elevators up and down There's the gazebo outside, and there's the spirit spring. There's a hidden invisible platform, too, off the northwestern part, which will get you off to that like little raised area to get to the Stone Sheath Sword. The most interesting part of the southern ruins is the pests. They are the kindreds of rot, and these ones are just red with scarlet rot. And we'll learn more about the scarlet rot in a second, but that's the southern ruins. I think are a little bit better than the northern ruins, but overall, I still find this area quite tedious and troublesome. But if you do get to the tippity top, you will be possibly invaded by Hornsent. If you summoned him to defeat Mesmer and exhausted his dialogue, he will invade you before the church. That's where you can get his dirty underwear and his sword. There is on the southern ruins another secret area, though, and that is you find this if you head south of the furnace column, down around the side. There's a little secret area you can go down and come back up. Here you'll find the Talisman of All Crucibles. It's a giant mass of intermingling crucible attributes, reduces damage taken from critical hits and headshots, and improves the effectiveness of rolling and backstepping, but also increases damage taken at all times. So essentially all the different crucible attributes, you get all of them. Rumored to have sprouted upon giants and is known as the mother of crucibles in ancient tower lore. Increases damage taken by 45%. Those are big boy numbers.
That's going to hurt.
That's a lot. But you do get more iframes for backsteps, increased damage negation by 30% on critical attacks. It adds 3 iframes to rolling and nullifies headshot bonus damage and prevents headshot stagger animation. Big damage, big payoff. High risk, high reward.
Don't get hit.
Just don't get hit. This will take you all the way to the top of the southeastern area of the Rauh Ruins, which you'll then be able to head back down and head north to a hitherto unaccessible point. And here you'll find another divine beast dancing lion.
How many times I got to teach you this lesson, old man?
Old man. And this lion sucks because this is a divine beast dancing lion with death blight. And it summons basilisks.
That's just a pain in the dick.
It's a pain in the dick. Death Blight is an instant kill, and it will build up very fast in this arena. I often find myself running and hiding like an idiot and sprinting to the other side, sprinting over here. Then there's 10 basilisks. Meanwhile, the lion is dancing. A couple of naked dudes. Yeah, it's fun fighting it again, though. This is a boss. If they had done more than 2, I would have been upset. There's one big variation I will accept. This gets you the Spiral Incantation, the Divine Beast Tornado, the Tempest of the Dancing Lion, wielded as an incantation. Whirlwind-like twist of the body summons a storm, launching a tornado forward. The majority of the Divine Beasts were gored and hung upon Mesmer's spears, then burned in his flame. Those who witnessed the deed likened it to a funeral pyre for the tower itself. Tyler, do you like Scarlet Rot?
About as much as... No, I don't.
No, Scarlet Rot is bad. And what we're going to find here is the origin of the Scarlet Rot. Now, the Scarlet Bud is a large rotten bud that will never come into bloom. Grows in lands... something's not right in there. Grows in lands. Grows in lands blighted by Scarlet Rot. You'll find these buds anywhere that's got the blight. There was a time when these buds were not touched by the Scarlet Rot's blight, when they were the symbol of the small church in the ancient ruins of Rauh. So these buds were there before the Scarlet Rot was, before this area became the Scarlet Rot. The Church of the Bud seems to have been a church of the Hornsent, or potentially of the ancient denizens before. But there's no statues of Marika here. And there's pillars with a similar motif to that of Bellarat, so that's why we think Hornsent. And at the top of one of the pillars, you can find the bud. The top of the spiral here is a budding flower, signaling that this is the divinity of the Scarlet Rot. So it sounds like the divinity was here before, but it was not unleashed or woven into existence. Now, the church might have been built up here because they found the pole blade here, the Scarlet Bud. But in the trailer of the DLC, we see Romina burning as she kneels, holding the pole blade of the bud. So Romina, is going to be our boss this episode, she was assaulted. This church was destroyed by Mesmer and assaulted and burnt, and only in the DLC trailer do we see the footage of her kneeling down, cradling the pole blade. Now, after the church was burned to the ground, she discovered a twisted divine element that she weaved into the scarlet rot. And this is the progenitor of scarlet rot. She proclaimed herself as the saint of the bud after the weaving, and the servants of rot who were abandoned here before swore fealty to their new saint. So she is not the original god of scarlet rot, because the kindred of rot were here and they were abandoned before. I still think that the stinger that we find in the lake of rot, that was from the original rot god, and the blue dancer that fought it. I think that these kindred were potentially abandoned for all of this to happen, but they now have begun to follow Romina in this instance. And yeah, up at the top here is the Church of the Bud, where we find a boss that either gives me a lot of trouble or I just stomp on, depending on my build.
It gives me a lot of trouble.
Trouble.
I remember when I started playing Shadow of the Erdtree, I was kind of shitting on the game a little bit because I was like, this is easy. People have been saying this game's hard, and I breezed through a good chunk of it, and it wasn't until I hit Mesmer that I was really getting my shit rocked. And since then, it's like...
you can't use your fire blade anymore. Oh, no, Tyler.
Dude, I was cooked.
Like, that's my only move.
I got one move. I'm like Seth Rogen and knocked up. I just do the dice move the whole time.
That's all you got. But then...
The game took it personally. It was like Michael Jordan, because then...
I took it personally.
This fight fucked me up for a minute. I think I rage quit at one point.
Sometimes I almost rage quit the new Prince of Persia game a couple times this morning already.
Sometimes games are just too tough.
No, it's not even tough. That one, I know when I'm getting my ass kicked in Elden Ring, I deserve it. Prince of Persia, I don't think I deserve it half the time, but
yeah. So yeah, you're gonna fight Romina, Saint of the Bud. Yeah, sodded.
That good bud.
Yeah. The strategy here for her, primarily, she's going to attack with melee in the first phase, either with the glaive centipede head or the scorpion tail. They'll all infect Scarlet. If you thought you were getting out of this battle with that little Scarlet Rod, you were wrong.
Yeah, you bring as many boluses as you can, use any talismans to negate Scarlet Rot effects, and bring anything that boosts attacks in the vicinity of Scarlet Rot, because this is going to be a big red rotten area.
Yeah. We'll create a storm of pink butterflies when starting phase 2. She becomes more agile and uses complex aerial attacks. Where have we seen this before?
Where have we seen it, Tyler?
It's kind of like the Millennia fight.
Millennia. Yep, and it makes sense because she was also afflicted with the rot and the butterflies.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love the imagery surrounding the Scarlet Rot, and this is a pretty fight. I like the butterflies. Cool second phase. The second phase definitely gives me more trouble than the first, as with any boss fight that I typically have in this game.
She has such a cool design where she's split in like the two separate legs, and one of them is the head of a centipede, and the other is a tail like with a scorpion stinger on the end. Very mobile, very aerial. And you can summon, Dryleaf Dane for this fight, but you have to do it outside the arena, so that means she gets a boost in HP and abilities, and he dies fast.
Yeah, I don't think he's worth your time.
It's really not worth it. Dane, it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. You're not going to get anything done. She's too mobile, and Dane will get destroyed. Instead, summon yourself and get yourself prepped to fight it.
Yeah.
This fight, I hit my head against it for a while on my second playthrough. My first one I don't think was too bad, but just be prepared.
After defeating her, you are going to get the remembrance of the Saint of the Bud. You also get a weapon, the pole blade of the Bud. Strength, Dex, and Arcane is what you're going to want to scale with this bad boy. A Scarlet Glaive with a dangling bud-like blade. Attacks cause buildup of rot, and I love me a good weapon that has a buildup, especially of Scarlet Rot.
Radon is sweating.
He's sweating hard.
He's sweating right now.
He's like, oh, no, not this again. Once in the crumbling, burning church, Romina held the bud in speechless silence. That bud would become her blade, its unique skill. Romina's purification imbues bud blade with scarlet rot butterflies before unleashing 2 large sweeping slashes. This was once considered a sacred act of purification.
Burn it. It's like burning a wound clean.
Yeah, cauterizing.
I think so.
The rot incantation Rotten Butterflies summons a myriad of butterflies while performing a gentle twirl. The butterflies break apart on contact, scattering rot and setting off a chain reaction. The scarlet butterflies are as the goddess of rot's wings, bereft of a master. They were soothed by Romina, who reached out to them. I'm really looking forward to New Game Plus because I've never done it.
Ooh.
Never done New Game Plus. I was waiting for the DLC, but I want to do just a rot build.
Yeah, dude, it's fun. A New Game Plus, bring in all your tools and just going up to the first couple enemies and just stomping them.
Yeah,
it's very
so
powerful.
Nice.
The Ruins of Rauh. Altogether, I mean, I understand what they're going for gameplay wise. It's a kind of a giant dungeon meant to be explored with a horse, and that's just the scale. It's much larger. It feels, largely empty, and it feels kind of devoid of a ton of groundbreaking lore. Now, it's perfectly vague in many ways, so people will be able to read in more of this ancient civilization, but there's not a ton of concrete things about it. And I found it frustrating, the gameplay aspect of this, and also the inclusion of the Saint of the Bud at the top feels a little half-baked. It seems like they just needed something cool to put up there at the top, and I wish there was more about Romina. I wish there was kind of more leading up to it, because you don't really discover anything about the rot until you get right up to the front door and you start seeing these kindred of rot. I would have preferred some sort of boss more related to this ancient civilization. I mean, maybe they were associated with the pole blade, but there's nothing spelling that out. And it just seems like a missed opportunity for something more. And I can't pretend that I love this area. I get it. It's cool. There's even more ancient ruins, and there's more ancient ruins, and that's cool. That's cool. But for me, this area, it doesn't do a ton for me. I do like the final boss battle. Romina is a fun battle, but it all just kind of seems like it needed a little bit more time in the oven.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I disliked was the furnace golem on the bridge. It was mean.
Well, it uses that one rare furnace golem attack too, where it shoots the pillar of fire straight at you, which covers the whole bridge.
You got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And the maze-like structure of trying to navigate, like you said, you've played it more than I have, and you don't know where you're going.
I've gone through it probably 5 or 6 times, and it's never fun, and it's never intuitive. But yeah, it's cool seeing Devonia. It's cool.
Yeah.
Fighting a divine beast dancing lion. That was really fun. I didn't think that was an area you could actually get to. So being able to finally get over there was like really fun. But then there's also this whole area above the ruins of Rauh on the northern section. And I forget the YouTuber. They make a series of videos about them going to areas that you're not supposed to get to. And they have a video of them going up on top of the ruins. And I was like, I'm rubbing my hands. What's up there? And there's nothing. It's just a big open like field area with nothing up there. I don't know. It takes up a big chunk of the map, and I appreciate the concept. I just wish that it worked a little better, because the whole thing didn't really land for me. But there's a ceiling tree behind there, and that's going to take us into the final area of the game, which is very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But that will bring us to the end of our episode today. Now, the next time Elden Dogs is back, we will be discussing Anirim and the boss battle to end all boss battles. And from there, we'll do a discussion of some of the new sorceries, incantations, bestiary, a few other things. But thank you so much for listening today. If you've gotten this far with us, you deserve an achievement unlocked. Can handle dumbasses talking about Elden Ring for so long.
Congratulations.
75 points. If you want access to more episodes, I'll a lot more episodes immediately, episodes much earlier. Check out patreon.com/hairthedogcast. A lot of exclusive popcorn dogs, raw dogs, and a lot of other cool shows on there. Special thanks to Patreon executive producers Rykard Kristinik, Malakip the Black Blade, Blaggard Big Brian Ward, Jordan Hoslow, Sorceress of Blood, Festering Fingerprint, Phil Wright, Phil Just Red Bear Phil, thanks Tyler, Bell-bearing Hunter Bryant Ross, Crucible Knight, Kelly Gutowski, and Justin Mellesmer the Impaler. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to more Elden Ring discussion soon.
Avoid the Scarlet Rot while you're out there, and
Go Pack Go.
Yeah, go Pack Go.
We'll see you next time.
Half episode.